Good evening and thank you for joining us on KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Whitney Ward. Today is April 1st, a day marking a turn for warmer weather, practical jokes, and the start of spring construction season. Yes. Here is a quick look at some of the major projects that are launching today that could impact your commute. Bigelow Gulch is now closed along several stretches. Cheney-Spokane Road between the Highway 195 interchange has also been reduced to just one lane in each direction. One frustration for a lot of drivers tonight is the Thor Freya off-ramp is closed once again this year. And finally, 29th Avenue between Ray and Grand Boulevard on Spokane South Hill has been reduced to one lane in each direction. Unfortunately, this is just the start of construction season. Many of these closures will extend well into the start of summer. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez is live right now from Spokane South Hill talking about the road work on 29th, so we know a little bit more about the potential impacts there. Nicole?
Yeah, Whitney, I mean, you said it. There's so many construction projects around the entire city at this point that drivers are just frustrated about it. Not only are they getting stuck in more traffic, but it's also a bit confusing. So take a look behind me here. Like you mentioned, I'm at 29th, and if you can see how much traffic is backed up beyond Southeast here. That way, same thing as the other direction too. Both directions we're seeing that back up there because of this construction. And then you can also just see all those cones. All those cones on the road, they're not easy to figure out necessarily. So as people are driving up here on the hill and all those other spots as well, just, give some grace to drivers as they figure out, of course, all of this construction here. This one specifically is 29th Avenue between Ray and Grand. That's down to one lane in both directions. It's two separate projects to fix the pavement and add in ADA ramps. We talked to a business here in the area who says they're concerned people will forget about them during all this construction. And we also talked to a few frustrated drivers.
More back up to normal, but now instead of going that way, I just go out that way but it's frustrating. And it gets frustrating having them to have to do it over all the time. Yeah.
Another big project starting up again in Spokane County is on Bigelow Gulch Road. That's closed between North Havana Street and Wiley Road. Crews are doing a lot to the road there. They're putting two more lanes in. They're widening the shoulders. They're adding turn lanes and taking out some of the curves in the road to make it safer. Now, these two are just some of the two bigger projects. They're going to impact more people, but there's also other smaller projects the city has started across Spokane as well. 37th and Crestline, one that started today. They also are doing a project at Grace and Cleveland. Those, again, are a little bit smaller in terms of impact. So those are more residential closures. So those are just kind of something to know if you live in that area or drive in that area specifically. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
All right, Nicole, thank you very much. And we will be tracking construction season. So for an update on some of the biggest closures throughout these many months, as well as alternate routes, just head to KREM 2 Plus. You can download it for free right now on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Now let's switch gears. Let's talk weather because it feels like we might be in the middle of another false spring, but maybe this is the real deal. So let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo. I think, what do we have, at least two false springs before we get to the real one?
At least two. But when it comes to the overall weather pattern, there are a few pretty major differences in the days to come as our temperatures take a dive. Right now, it's just warm, 65 degrees. Earlier today, we were a little warmer, but overall, what is likely is those temperatures stay pretty warm in the days to come. All thanks to a lack of cloud cover, I can't figure out how to talk today. I'm just so flustered after Whitney's April Fool's joke. I just don't know what to do. Overall, it looks like our temperatures stay pretty mild. Overnight, we're down near 40, not all that bad. And tomorrow afternoon, we have a high approaching 70 degrees, close to it in eastern Washington and North Idaho. And when it comes to central Washington, you're kind of in the mid 70s. So all in all, not looking too terribly bad. But get this, as we move through the next few days, our temperatures kind of take a dive. We have a shift in the weather pattern that brings about more cloud cover by the time we get to Wednesday, and then a few scattered showers throughout the day that kind of take us into Thursday. But overall, when it comes to our weather pattern, tomorrow looks a lot like what we expect to see. I've been working on this the entire time, so I don't know if I was saying anything that made any sense. Tomorrow, our high of 69 and our low in the 40s is very reminiscent of what we might expect to see in May. Seriously, May. That's 1 month later than where we are. Today marks April 1st. As we go through the next few days, sure, our temperatures drop, but we stay above freezing, and even our afternoon highs are in the 50s.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. Spokane police shot and killed a man following a house fire on West Dean Avenue last night. Today, the investigation into the shooting and the fire continues while the homeowner is starting to clean up the damage that's been left behind. All of this happened while firefighters were still on scene. So in our effort to bring you more to every story, KREM 2's Amanda Rowley asked the fire department how they train for potentially violent calls. So she's joining us now live from West Central Spokane with the latest on the investigation. Amanda?
This is where the shooting happened just last night after firefighters put out this house fire here in West Central Spokane. Now, emergency responders, they have to prepare for anything that could come up on a call, but they were all caught off guard by that shooting here last night. The chaos here in West Central started with a fire, but it didn't end there. While firefighters worked to contain this house fire, police began investigating what could be arson. Spokane police say a man on scene was not cooperative and started walking away. When they tried to detain him, SPD says he was carrying a gun and shot it. Officers returned fire and hit him. Although life-saving measures were taken, the man died. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office is now leading the investigation into the shooting. The fire department says the fire started in an upstairs bedroom. This is one of the 3 bedrooms, and it saw the most severe fire damage.
So devastating, hurtful.
In the daylight, Susan Crouch can't believe what's happened to her home of 22 years.
And look how now it looks totally night and day, totally different. It's like being bombed.
She says leading up to the fire, tensions were high among her tenants.
Last couple of days we were really uneasy because one of the girlfriends of Leslie said, "Why are you shaking?" I said, "I feel uneasy, all this tension in the house."
That's why she wasn't surprised by the shooting. But firefighters on scene didn't expect the chaos of the fire would escalate to violence just outside.
We're getting into situations a lot more often than just these fire responses.
Public Information Officer Justin DeRuiter says firefighters are trained to keep their head on a swivel. And before that, dispatch alerts crews to anything unusual.
Things change really quick, and so it's just a lot of situational awareness.
The shooting Sunday night put that awareness to the test.
These are just some added dangers that we haven't really had to deal with much in the past, not to this level.
Investigators are still looking for what started this chaotic night, but the fire department says it suspects arson. The Spokane Police Department put 2 of the officers involved in the shooting on administrative leave, which is standard procedure. Now, the names of those 2 officers and the man who died will be released later on. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Amanda, thank you very much. And both the Spokane Fire Department and Spokane Police are also investigating another possible arson, this one in the Perry District. Flames broke out on Saturday night at East 7th and South Helena near the Parkview Apartments. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but there was heavy smoke damage to a nearby building. In the meantime, Spokane police are asking for your help tonight, identifying more suspects in a brazen downtown robbery. So take a look. This is a story that we've been tracking since early last week. Police say a couple was attacked with bear spray and then robbed by a group of people in downtown Spokane on Tuesday. They've already arrested 4 suspects, but they believe that more people were involved. So if you recognize any of the people in any of these pictures, police are asking you to call the number at the bottom of your screen, 242-8477. More than 4 years after 2 eastern Idaho kids were reported missing and his late wife died suddenly, Chad Daybell's trial is officially underway. He is facing several criminal charges, including 3 counts of murder and conspiracy. Jury selection started in Ada County this morning. Today, potential jurors were asked questions about the case, including what they have learned in the media and if they could fairly hand down a verdict.
Court has read to you a summary of the charges. Those include charges involving murder, conspiracy, and insurance fraud. Is there anything in particular about those charges for any one of you that would make it impossible or difficult for you to fairly and objectively evaluate the evidence in this case and to render a fair and impartial verdict?
Ultimately, they need 18 people on that jury, 12 jurors, and then 6 alternates. That selection process is expected to take all week long. Controversy over the weekend continues today after the NCAA women's basketball tournament in Portland when it was discovered that there was a 6-inch difference in the three-point lines. Take a look. The NCAA women's three-point line is supposed to be 20 feet and 1 1/4 inches, but the right side of that court was several inches longer at the top of the key. It measured in at NBA regulation. For a number of reasons, coaches decided to play the game anyway. However, the difference did raise some questions.
Well, I hate to say this, but I have a lot of colleagues that would say only in women's basketball. I mean, it's a shame, really, that it even happened, but it is what it is.
Now, this is the same court where the Gonzaga women played and lost against Texas on Friday. There were 4 games played on that court before the error was even discovered. We did reach out to the GU women's team for comment. So far, we have not heard back. The NCAA did release a statement saying the vendor has apologized for the error. They're now investigating how it happened in the first place.